something happened today that I really felt was more important to talk about than my day. So, okay, let's just go back, just give you a little bit of backstory. I have a friend named who has a younger sister named my age, 18 years old, is 14 years old. She is a child. I was at her friend's place and one of her friends was teaching her how to ride a scooter. And being a child, we make mistakes. She accidentally ran into a BMW, which is not acceptable, totally just not cool. So the owners were naturally really upset and they got out and they were really angry and I mean, children make mistakes and it's okay to correct them and reprimand them, but I mean, like when someone is not your child, then there's always like a limit, right? But these people just go all out. They took her cell phone, they kept yelling at her, they said things about her family, just really unnecessary. And like there was an excessive amount of this going on. So her older sister was on her way down and she gave me a call. She said, just come down there as soon as you can. So I went and we went and we stood with her for a bit and until their mom got there. And the mom got out and she spoke to them very cordially. She spoke to them nicely with respect. And she got out, she told them that, you know, she saw what the damage was. She took photos of them. She said, excuse me, I'm extremely sorry for the damage, but there's no reason to yell at my daughter so much. There's no reason to talk with so much disrespect. She is a child. There's no reason to talk badly about her family. And she said, I'd just like to speak to the mother of the... So there was a dude whose mother was extremely upset. So they went inside and they spoke. So there was this whole family and there was my friend's mother alone. And they were all just at it. And there was a discomforting amount of yelling going on inside the house. So I went and I just stood there. And they were saying some really unreasonable things. Like, my friend's mother told them that, you know, like, I'm not going to commit to a figure, but if there is damage, I will, of course, pay for it. But if you're going to quote me an excessive figure, like, obviously, I mean, children make mistakes. Tomorrow, if a bus driver hits my car and leaves, I'm not going to make the bus driver pay for it. I'm going to track him down. And so she said, you know what, all I can do right now is give you my name, my number, and my address. You're welcome to come by anytime. You're welcome to give me a call anytime. We will talk about it and we will get the issue settled. And they said, how can we come? We don't have a car. I'm sorry, you have a BMW. If you can afford a BMW, you have other cars, which I'm pretty sure they... Whatever, just extremely nonsensical points. And they go on to talk about how their daughter is disrespectful and has an attitude issue and a ton of other nonsense. And about how it just made no sense. It became a lot bigger than the money. And it became extremely disrespectful, and there were so many people speaking so badly, and I just hated every part of the situation. But I've always been taught to show respect and to help people at all times. So while we're walking out, like, I told the dude, I said, you know, I told him, like, I was like, hey man, like, I have a guy who does like painting for luxury cars and he does like a splendid job. If you want, like, I'll hook you up with a number. And he said, why should I'll speak to the BMW people directly. And I said, okay, and we kept walking. My friend looks at me and says, don't bother. And this dude's wife bounces on us, like, how can you talk with so much disrespect and this, that? And they all started yelling at me. And then the other woman came out and started yelling, who are you to interfere? I said, I'm a close relative, which I am, and I'm not going to stand anybody speaking to my people like this. So I just stood there, and she started going after the sister. She said, who are you? How can you say that? Why are you interfering? I mean, I'm sorry, these people are family to me. And if there's a bunch of people talking with disrespect to them, I'm not gonna stand there and just take it. Especially for something where there's no reason to bring things like this up. Flew so out of proportion, and the dude tried taunting me. He says, you like taking photos, take photos of the car. Naturally, I gave it back to him. I said, what, you wanna pose with it? And everybody started charging it at all of us, and he said, I'll see you at the gym. And I was like, cool, man. And this is where, like, I just lost all respect for everything in the situation. While we were walking out, the oldest member of the family calls to us and says, know the difference between a BMW and a Honda City. And at this point of time, I realized, like, whoever these people are, all they have is just a little bit of money. Like, money is just all they've been blessed with. There was no respect, there was no class, there was no etiquette, there was no elegance, and I felt like when I heard that, I genuinely just felt like regurgitating. When you're trying to flash your money and show superiority through money and literally no sense of character. And out of this situation, there's just a few things that I felt were just so goddamn important to talk about right now. The first thing is that I mean, we're all kids. It's 100% okay to make mistakes. You know what? Just like it is 100% fine. It's the only way to learn. No matter how big, small, it is okay to make mistakes. Some mistakes are bigger than others and lead to consequences. But you shut your eyes and remember that everything has to pass. Secondly, being nice is always, always, always the right thing to do and can never hurt. Like in every single situation, whether somebody else hits your car or you hit theirs, being nice to them is always the best way to go about it. And it is always, always beneficial to you in terms of being a better person, in terms of just being happier in life. And thirdly, it's just a few things that I've learned from my parents all along. And thirdly, respect is not earned, it's lost, but always shown. In the sense, on a clean slate, you respect every single person around you. But through their actions, you slowly lose respect for them. And whether you hold respect for them or not, you always, always, always show respect for everybody. And I guess just what I'm trying to say here is that it's so important to be a nice person and to be nice to other people and to help everybody around you. And it always pays off. And just like what happened today just really, really, really disgusted me. And I felt like it was so important to share with my little audience, because it just affected me so badly. Even though I wasn't fully involved, I just couldn't take well to it. So I kind of sort of wanted to know your opinion on it, and I felt like it was important to share that it is alright to make mistakes and always be nice, respectful and kind to other people regardless of what they've done. But thank you for watching. That's about it for today. Come back tomorrow for another vlog. But yeah, that's about it. Good night.